Hi, welcome to the Crafts channel. My name's Corinne Brad and today I want to show you how easy it is to make these great nature-inspired coasters. You've probably seen pictures of these on Pinterest and Instagram. They're very, very easy to make and you can make them to your requirements to fit your home decor. You can leave them plain, but obviously for the purposes of filming, seeing white on white is not the greatest. So I've coloured these up with a simple eyeshadow palette. So what you need to do is you need some air dry clay. And the smoothest air dry clay you can find is the best because it will hold the indentations of the dried grasses on there well. If you've got an air dry clay that's got too much paper fibre in it, you don't get such a good effect. This is actually a Fimo brand and it's called a Basic Air. And it's very much like the feel of ordinary clay. So grab yourself a block that's about the size of a Victoria plum. Give it a bit of a squash out and then roll it out onto a flat surface like this chopping board that I've got here. I want to make it big enough so you've got a nice square size. And then what I would do is I would lay it onto the surface that you're going to leave it on to let it dry. A tile is not the greatest surface in the world because obviously you can't get air underneath it to dry the back of it. But sometimes if you use a piece of cardboard, it absorbs too much moisture out of it and then the card starts to curl so you get a warped coaster. But once it's started to dry on the outside, you should be able to just lift it up and prop it up somewhere so that it will dry evenly. And then if you go for a walk with your dog, you can pick up all manner of dried grasses. I've got no idea what the names of these grasses are, so I'm not even going to embarrass myself by trying to name them. But you want grasses that have got quite a hard seed to them. Lavender is really good as well, if you can get lavender just before it's bloomed, so it's sort of like a small bud, because again, that's quite hard. And I think this is possibly wild barley. But it's quite pretty. It's got these sort of seed heads that hang down. So get some grasses. And let's just take this bit off here. If you lay them onto your clay, so they come in from the edge. And what you need to do is you need to lay them on the clay all at the same time. There's no point trying to do one bit and indent it and do another bit and indent it, because each time you add another indent, you'll find that, do you know what, that's too big, that bit of barley. You'll find that every time you run over it with your roller, you'll smooth out some of the indents. Oh. So hold them together at the bottom and then you want to roll over the top really in one movement if you can, to stop them moving too much. And then you should be able to lift it out like this. Now sadly, because these grasses have been sat in my kitchen for a couple of days, they've left some of the seed casings behind, but you can just brush over with your finger to smooth them off. And also, once the clay has actually dried, you can you can brush them off properly. And then decide where you want to cut your coaster. So I want to get the top of that barley in there. And the bottom here. Square. And if it's not 100% square, because that is actually way more of a a rectangle than a square now I'm looking at it. Let's just trim that up. It doesn't matter because it's a homemade article. It's not supposed to be perfectly manufactured. So you've got this. Now you probably can't see this design particularly well because it's a white indentation on a white piece of clay on a white tile, which is where the magic of makeup comes in. And I'm just going to rub over the top with some makeup. So that you can see the pattern that's been formed by the indentation of the seed heads. Let's just run this down and make it look like a pastoral scene in the background with the blue sky and the green fields in the background. And the cornfields in the foreground. Just make that a little bit bluer. And just go lightly over the places where it's been indented. Don't press down too hard. Don't put too much mica powder on your finger because you may end up with it inside the indentations. And then you'll just spoil the pattern. But hopefully you can see that even with the barley where you've got the little tiny feathery bits, they're all picked out, and then you just leave that to dry. Once it's dried, I'd leave it 24 hours to dry to be on the safe side. What you can then do is, for example, with this one, is you can paint over the top of it with like a nice glaze, like an acrylic glaze, so that it protects the mica. It also gives a shine to it, but you can really see, especially with these darker colours, how it has picked out the indentation of the lavender and the lavender leaves. Or this one here, like a tiny corn design. So they're really nice. You can, as I say, you can leave them completely white if that's what you prefer, but I quite like this colour pop idea. It makes it look like almost like a tiny painting. So next time you're out, if you see some interesting looking grasses, just pick a couple and pop them in your pocket, and then you can make some nature inspired coasters when you get home. Hope you enjoyed this demonstration, and I hope you will come and see us very soon for some more, but in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. If you've been inspired to create, please share your makes with us in the comments section below, and if you've enjoyed videos by the Crafts channel, hit the like button. Want to see more of us? Then click subscribe. See you next time.